What's going on, everyone? It's Mr. West. I hope you're all well. So welcome to another camera test, and this time it's for the Nokia 7.1. So this is yet another Android One handset from Nokia and follows on from the Nokia 6.1 Plus for 2018. It was a beautiful device and it's got some really good still imaging capabilities, but I want to see what the video is like as well. Now, as with all camera tests, I will leave all of the detailed camera specifications in the description so you can see that for yourself in your own time. And I'll just run through some of the more high-level features of the cameras as I run through the video. Now, starting off with the front-facing camera, this is an 8-megapixel fixed focus unit, and it records video at 1080p at 30 frames per second. Now, sticking to the theme of testing all modes on these cameras, we're starting off in 480p. You know, this is great for maybe younger people who want to get into vlogging and don't want to be wasting loads of space on their internal storage, and it's not looking too bad. Now, we've got electronic image stabilisation from the front-facing camera, but it doesn't do a bad job. And in all modes, you do get Nokia's Ozo spatial audio, which allows for much better separation of the stereo sound, so you should be getting the benefit of that if you're wearing headphones or if you're watching on a handset with stereo speakers. So moving up to 720p now. As you can see, you get the same electronic image stabilization in this mode, and once again it's great for saving space on your internal storage. But looking at the video, perfectly acceptable, especially for this price point. I mean, this handset is below £400, so you do get some really decent imaging capabilities from this phone. Okay, so currently now in the highest resolution available on the Nokia 7.1 from its front-facing camera, and that is 1080p at 30 frames per second. So whilst we're here, we'll do an exposure and detail check from the front-facing camera. So just look how progressive that is. So yeah, so it's blowing out there on the lighter areas of the sky. Now, it is quite tricky light, and you can just see that. It was just hold the phone still, and it's struggling still. There we go. So there is the blue sky that we're looking for. Just slight movement. So once it finds the exposure that it needs, it tends to keep it that way, which is cool. And if you really wanted to, you could always adjust this in post-processing if you wanted to edit the videos. Got nice depth of field as well. If you look at this plant here and the huge trees behind it, so you get a nice kind of parallax depth effect there, which is nice. So let's check out the image stabilization with a bit of speed and me running. Wow, that is smooth. Very, very impressive. It's just literally on rails. Okay, so quickly checking out 720p at 30 frames per second. Again, a great space-saving compromise resolution. So if you want to use this for less major projects, or if you just want to catch a few quick videos while you're on holidays and you're really not bothered about quality, then 720p has got you covered. And we can see there's no change in the behavior of the camera in any of these modes, which shows great consistency across all of the resolutions, which I like. And we still get that really nice electronic image stabilization as well. Okay, so last of the modes now with electronic image stabilization. So looking at the car there, headlight is being blown out. Unless I move the camera subtly, we can see there it's just having a bit of trouble with exposure on the headlight, whereas I can see the orange repeater there. Let's check out autofocus. Now, there is some small writing on this clear side repeater here, so let's see if it'll focus on that. There we go, we've got the forward sign. So that does a really good job of picking out the detail on this clear side repeater on the mirror here. So you can just see, we just move away and then move back. It does a really great job. You can also obviously push to focus as well, which is good. Now, there's no telephoto zoom So it doesn't use the secondary camera for that, but we can pinch to zoom, and straight away we can see there's a marked difference in quality, even just zooming in just a bit. So this is literally a needs must basis. Let's just test out the image stabilization from the main camera with a little bit of speed. Let me just alter the angle of the phone. There we go. So here we go. And the image stabilization, once again, even coping with all this movement, is really great. Great stuff. So let's check out the autofocus on some plantation. Good job, and the colour reproduction is great. But she's having a little bit of trouble with that kind of off angle on this leaf here. You can see it's getting a bit confused now between the background and these closer objects here. So if we go closer, move back. Now to temper this, you can just push the viewfinder for spot focus, and there we see it's just adjusted itself, whereas if we do this and go back, just has a little bit of trouble. But if we just push the autofocus, there we go, and it finds where it needs to be. We can just see the changes in exposure as we move around, which is great. So some slightly more challenging. So a lot of phones can get very confused trying to focus on closer objects just because of all of this greenery here. It makes it very difficult for it to kind of pinpoint what it needs to focus on. So let's just try these nettles here. So you can see it's just, I can see the autofocus box going crazy on the display now. So it's doing a good job there. If we just move down and back up, that is impressive. And we look at the detail on these prickly thorns, that is fantastic. Alright, so this is the final resolution option available, and that is 4K at 30 frames per second. Now, a noticeable difference in the stabilization immediately. So I have got this stabilizer rig here. Now it's not a gimbal, so it doesn't add any fancy motors or anything. It just allows me to hold the phone at arm's length. You do get a lot of fatigue if you just hold the phone in your hand for a long period of time. So it's just to show you what the phone is being held in. And it helps keep everything nice and in frame as well. So let's check out autofocus in 4K. Just want to see if there's any change in how the video does autofocus in this higher mode. Nope. Getting great detail as well. We can get really close as well, which is cool. Got a nice bokeh as well. It is sort of favouring this one closer to the camera. If we just move around, we can see the change in the focus, and it's doing a great job there. You can just see it's sort of almost looking for the next object and adjusting itself very subtly as we move around. So that is impressive. So that concludes my Nokia 7.1 full video test. That's all the modes tested, right from 480p from the front facing camera, right up to 4K from the rear camera. So you let me know what your thoughts are. Drop me a comment down below and let me know what you think. If you've got any questions about this phone, then please do ask and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And also, if you're new around here, please consider subscribing. I upload videos every single week and I would love you to join me along for the ride. So that is my Nokia 7.1 full video test. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you guys later.